Hi, I'm Greta, CEO and founder of Pinary Inc. Pinary has expertise in implementing GTS, SAP GTS. We have been implementing GTS ever since inception of GTS. Our team has worked in every single version of SAP GTS. Almost everyone in our team has over 20 years of SAP experience in different areas of SAP. Personally, I've been in this SAP world for over 20 years now, and I cannot even count how many times someone at a client side has come and asked me, why can't we upload GTS? Or why can't we use GTS as we do Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office? Why is there a long implementation time? Well, I think people who are watching this probably understand why and why it's not like Microsoft Office. But that has stuck in my mind over the years. And I thought about it many times. And I said, I had a meeting internally, why can't we create something that companies can just upload and voila, it's done? Why can't we do that? Well, we did. We created a pre-configured solution for legal control, aka license checks. So Pinary is the first company, I'm proud to say, that has created a pre-configured solution. You simply have to answer 7 questions, that's it. 7 questions. You upload our solution. Within 5 minutes, legal control is configured globally. There are no limitations on how many legal regulations you need, how many licenses you need to create, or even if it's export or import. So now when companies will ask me, well, why don't you have something where we can just, download as we download MS Office? Why can't we do that with GTS? Well, now I can say, yes, you can. Pinary has created a pre-configured solution for legal control that you can successfully, within 5 minutes, have the entire implementation done. Of course, you need the time to perform the testing. You can't just take our word. You want to perform testing, and it'll take another week or so for that, or 2 weeks, it depends on the company. We have also created documentation that is part of the solution. You will have all of the training documentation. You will have test scripts ready to go. You will not have to spend time or invest time in creating test scripts or in waiting for someone to create a user manual for you, because it comes with a user manual. And just like any other software download, it comes with a warranty. So Pinary is the first company to create a pre-configured solution. The implementation time will be 5 minutes. When it comes to customs declarations, whether it's export or import, companies have a concern that they don't have access to their own data because they're dependent on the brokers. Companies have even come to us and said sometimes it takes them up to 3 months to get data from the brokers. And that can be challenging, especially in an audit situation. Well, there is a solution for that, and that is SAP GTS Broker Enablement. But then there's another challenge with the Broker Enablement solution. Then companies will come to us and they have said, well, we have brokers across the globe, and not every broker has an electronic capability. Or even the ones that have electronic capability, it's not the same electronic capability. So if they try to implement broker enablement globally, then they have to tackle each and every broker's electronic capability. They have to tackle with that. They have to make adjustments, and that's not cost or time effective. Well, we have a solution for that, which has been successfully implemented. We have created a solution using standard functionality in GTS, and with that solution, regardless of the electronic capability of the brokers, Same solution can be implemented. Now, even if your brokers do not have electronic capability, because some regions of the world, there are some brokers that do not have electronic capability, and that's okay. The same solution that we have created can be used. The solution is created utilizing the standard functionality, just made it a little innovative. The solution that we implemented is absolutely touchless. Not a single user is involved from start to end. And the company has access to their own data. It's at their fingertips when needed. Think about that. Companies have been using compliance management in GTS successfully for many years. It is being used for denied party list screening and also for license checks for tangible products. However, now there's a need to perform the same checks upon software download. It's not just the tangible products that require to be checked for controls, that is license checks. Software downloads must also be screened against license checks along with the denied party screening. So it's not just for the companies that sell software, it's also for companies that make systems that require software. And it's not just a software download, it's also the technical manuals or the technical data. That's just as important, that when an individual downloads the technical data or the software itself, that license checks are performed in addition to the denied party screening. We have implemented a solution for that using standard functionality within SAP GTS without sacrificing the functionality itself. Without creating a major custom solution, we have successfully implemented that upon download, when a user clicks that download button, it will perform a synchronous check, denied party check, and also the license check using SAP GTS. Even if the software is being downloaded at a different platform, that's okay. Doesn't matter which platform the software is being downloaded from. We can still perform the denied party screening and the license check using standard GTS functionalities. There have been companies that say, well, there are software out there that claim to do a license check on the software download. But if you have GTS doing license checks and denied party screening on your tangible products, and then you have another software that's checking, claiming to check, it's not the same checks, it's slightly different checks, or they are checking license check on download of the software. It's not a wise decision to have multiple different software doing the same thing. If you are already using GTS to perform the license checks on your tangible products or to perform the denied party screening, then why use a different software for license checks of the software downloads or the technical manuals? It can all be done in GTS because you want to have the same platform, the same system across the board for different business unit, for different products, because now you're checking the license checks against the same strategies. And that is the best solution. You should not have to maintain multiple different software and maintain strategies in multiple different software to do the same checks. Why not one software globally to do everything that you need to do? It can be done because we're doing that right now. And that is the wisest solution because you create the strategies once, you create the regulations once. Your regulatory checks and business requirements are being met in the same software. Large companies and multinationals have a major pain point, and that is they have multiple different software, multiple different systems that they use. Because over time, as you acquire companies, each company you acquire, it has a different system or a different software that they use. So how can they have the same solution across the board, especially when we're talking about export-import compliance? Well, GTS can talk to different ERP systems. GTS can also communicate or integrate with a database, with just a spreadsheet. It is not true that GTS can only work with SAP ECC or SAP S4. That's a misunderstanding that's out there in the industry. GTS can work with any SAP or non-SAP system, ERP system. GTS can also be used as a standalone, by the way. So the solution for multinationals or large companies that have multiple different systems is not to have multiple different global trade software. That would be disastrous. That will be extremely painful, not only for the users but also for the management to pull their reports. It'll be a major pain during internal or external audits. You can use SAP GTS and have it talk to multiple different systems, whether they're SAP or non-SAP. As a multinational, you could have SAP ECC or S4 in some countries, whereas in some other regions or other part of the world, or for some business units, you may have software like PeopleSoft. You could have different software. You could have Oracle, PeopleSoft, other homegrown systems. Regardless of the system, you can use SAP GTS to be the system of record for all export and import transactions. And you want to have one system of record. That is the best solution, because then it's not only easy for the users when it comes to auditing or to have access to their own data, but it also gives management a big picture of what's going on in the company. Look at the data. You can pull the reporting from one system itself. And most of all, the best part is you configure it once. That's it. You configure it once, and the same configuration can be used for different systems. You're not going to have to configure the system again for each system that it's integrating to. It's the same configuration. Now, just to give you an example, recently we have implemented preference processing, free trade agreement for a company, where their GTS system is talking to 3 different non-SAP feeder systems in addition to SAP ECC. And it works perfectly fine. We're using standard functionality. There is not a major customization that is needed to give you or to use the same one system as system of record, regardless of what the feeder system is. So I highly recommend that companies think about that. Have one system of record for all exports and imports. One system of record, regardless of the feeder system. Because it's doable and we've done it multiple times. License checks are performed on products. So is the product controlled? The product that is being shipped from country A to country B, are there controls on that product? What is the product end use? You can get end use certificates, etc., etc. There is standard functionality available. It's been available for years and many companies are using it. But there's a challenge that companies have, and that is, what about customer end use? The standard system does not check for customer end use. So how do companies handle that? Many companies have their trade compliance teams doing the check outside the system. So they have controlled products being checked in the GTS system and the customer end use being checked, or customer use or end use being checked outside the system. There is no integration between the two. So they have to maintain the data at the SharePoint for customer end use, and then the product end use is being checked in their GTS system. Well, we have a solution for that. We have created a solution successfully and implemented it, which is working perfectly, utilizing the standard functionality. Again, you may get tired of me using the word innovative again and again, but that is one of our strengths. We take the standard functionality, we think outside the box, but in the realm of standard functionality, then we become creative and we create solutions. And customer end use is one of those solutions that we have created in your own GTS system. Not only should you perform the product, check whether product is controlled or not, but also, is the customer controlled? Maybe the product that you're shipping is not controlled. It doesn't require any licenses. However, because of the customer that you're shipping that product to, now you may need licenses. So how do we check that? Well, you can use GTS system. We have created a solution that uses your GTS system, the same functionality, not only to check the product end use, but also to see, is the customer controlled? Do you need a license? If yes, if the product is not controlled, product requires no license, but because of the customer you require license, it will block the transaction. And then the user will of course go and review and then determine whether the license should be assigned or released. But that can be done using the standard GTS system. Most companies have miscellaneous products or generic products, like a hammer, a pencil, a pen, anything. And you simply cannot create a material master for all of those products. It's just not possible. It's too much work and it's not necessary. It's not necessary on the ECC or S4 side of the world. However, it is crucial to have those products in the trade compliance side of the world. That is SAP GTS. So there's always that disagreement between the logistics side and the trade compliance side. As for logistics, they don't need to create a material master for a hammer. Or if you have a trade show somewhere and you're shipping goods for the trade show, you don't need a material master. You can call it miscellaneous or have a text item in your ECC or S4 and it's perfectly fine. However, it becomes a pain point for trade compliance because we need to check every single product. We need to see if a license is required. We need to have that classified. We need to have harmonized tariff schedule or a combined nomenclature or basically a tariff or a commodity code assigned to each and every product. So how does that work? We created another innovative solution for that. We call that the generic material solution. Without having to create a material master in SAP ECC or S4 or any of your feeder systems for those generic materials or dummy materials, we created a solution that you could still have those checks done in SAP GTS. You could still have tariff code assigned to those products. Some of you may think, well, we already have a solution. We create a dummy product and to that dummy material we assign an HTS code where we can assign it at the transactional level rather than the product master level. Well, that's good, yes, but it's painful. It's painful for the trade compliance team. If you have one dummy material or two or maybe even 5 dummy materials, you have to keep on assigning a different code to those depending on what is being shipped. So that's very painful for the trade compliance team. We always think about the users, the end users. What are they going through on a day-to-day when they are working in the GTS system? Keeping that in mind, we created a very clever solution which gets rid of all the disagreements between the logistics side of the world and the trade compliance side of the world. You don't need to create a material master in your feeder system, yet you have a solution in GTS to be able to assign the code to these generic materials. And the solution is smart enough to know not to reuse the same material again and again because you just can't do that, especially if it's a different code. That is another innovative solution that Pinary created. I can proudly say that we have a 0 defect go live record. Every single go live that we have had has 0 defects. So hypercare is usually about 2 weeks. I don't think you really need to have more than 2 weeks of hypercare unless you wish to do so. We continually strive to maintain our record of 0 defects. Our team not only implements GTS, but we also listen to our client and the client's pain points. Based on our client's pain points, we create innovative solutions using SAP GTS standard functionality, keeping in mind the regulatory requirements. We have created many innovative solutions. The recent 2 ones are pre-configured solution. just because the client said, well, why can't we upload GTS, or as MS Office, we created a pre-configured solution for legal control. Another solution that recently we created and implemented is using standard broker enablement, using the same solution for brokers across the board, regardless of the electronic capability of the brokers. It's a very creative solution and it's scalable. And I hope we continue to create more solutions for our clients. Thank you.